Some women don't chase. They don't beg. They don't explain themselves into exhaustion. They simply withdraw, and suddenly, a man's entire world begins to quake. His confidence falters. His voice grows restless. His nights become longer. Because her silence is not empty, it is a mirror he cannot escape. In Jungian psychology, the ego thrives on recognition. For a man, every gesture of attention from a woman feeds this fragile architecture of self. He believes her presence validates his power, that her laughter confirms his worth, and that her energy is proof that he exists beyond the hollowness he secretly fears. But the archetypal woman who knows her value does not scatter her energy carelessly. She is not a servant to his projections, nor a prisoner of his desire. Her withdrawal becomes the most profound confrontation his psyche will ever endure. When her warmth vanishes, he feels the absence not as rejection, but as annihilation. His ego, once inflated by her attention, collapses into its shadow. Suddenly, the man who seemed untouchable becomes restless, desperate, searching for fragments of himself in places where she no longer resides. In silence, she forces him to confront the emptiness he's avoided his entire life. The absence of her gaze exposes the hollowness of his own. Jung wrote that what we do not make conscious returns to us as fate. So when a woman retreats, she withdraws not only her affection, but also the stage upon which he projected his hidden wounds. Without her, he is left face to face with his shadow. His insecurity, his fear of abandonment, his craving for control. And here lies the cruel paradox. The more he tries to chase what he has lost, the further she slips into the untouchable. To the awakened feminine, this detachment is not cruelty, it is clarity. Her silence is not punishment, but a reclamation of energy. In detaching, she refuses to play the role of his healer, his mirror, his mother. She embodies the anima not as his possession, but as her own becoming. This is the dangerous beauty of the feminine mystery. The more she withholds, the more magnetic she becomes. Not because she manipulates, but because she awakens in him a hunger he cannot satisfy externally. The Stoics taught that control over another's desire is illusion. Trauma teaches that clinging to validation is bondage. When she withdraws, he is left in a storm not caused by her absence, but by the wounds that existed long before she arrived. And here the truth reveals itself. It was never her silence that destroyed him. It was the dependence his ego built upon her presence. For the woman, this moment is not weakness, it is individuation. By withdrawing, she steps out of the web of projection and steps into her own sovereignty. She refuses to be defined by his need for her light. She chooses instead to dwell in the vastness of her own becoming. And for him, her silence becomes the teacher his ego always resisted. It compels him to face the shadow, to dismantle illusions, to finally seek wholeness within rather than fragments in another. The woman who withdraws her energy is not cold, nor cruel. She is simply awake. And the man who trembles before her silence learns, too late, that the most powerful presence is the woman who no longer needs to stay.